start of a popular but not so popular anymore THQ franchise, and that is lmao, or Destroy All Humans 1, released for PS2 and the OG Xbox. So Destroy All Humans was made by Pandemic Studios, the original developers of Star Wars Battlefront, and you can tell the shooting is nearly identical. Destroy All Humans takes place in the 60s. The game starts with an alien named Crypto, who is investigating Earth and sees a military base. The military base just happens to be testing a missile, and well, it hits Crypto's saucer and he goes down. He is then captured by the FBI. Then the leader of the lmaos sends another Crypto, yes, it's a clone, to save the first Crypto. And that's the gist of the story. It's a simple story, and eventually becomes destroying all humans. Every human has a bit of Furon DNA, that's the lmaos. And, well, there's no more DNA anymore for the Furons, so gotta destroy the humans to get that DNA. The story is really, really cheesy and B-movie like, and it's totally done on purpose. All of the story's cheesiness is ridiculous on purpose. The game has a few good things that happens, like the ending is pretty good. I think the story could be a whole lot worse, but it's good for what it sets out to be. So Destroy All Humans is an open world third-person shooter. You play as Crypto and are dropped into an open environment and are given missions like every other open world game. Crypto can run around, shoot from weapons, use mind powers, and has a jetpack. His jetpack is not infinite, it's more like an extra jump. The shooting is virtually identical to Battlefront's third-person shooting. It's good, but can seem a bit archaic by today's standards. The weapons you get are pretty interesting. You get this an electric gun, which has infinite ammo that shocks people, a disintegrator gun that does what it says, a prober that, well, probes anuses, and there are a few other weapons, but those are the main ones. I will say that all the weapons have a use, and none of them feel useless. Something I can't say for the sequels. Crypto also has mind powers. He can make people's heads explode, use telekinesis on people's cars and objects, and clone a human and imposes them. You can even read people's minds, and there's a few conversation tree parts to the game. You will be using these mind powers quite a lot, so get used to them. The controls in the game feel really good, they're tight, and Crypto feels like he has weight and moves at a decent pace, and it feels good to control him overall. You collect Furon DNA in the game from killing humans. You have to make sure their bodies are intact to get the brains from them though. Use brains to get upgrades for Crypto and his gear. You also need so much Furon to progress in the game. You can also go in his saucer. His saucer can shoot lasers, earthquake bombs, and you can abduct people. It can actually do even more in the game, and actually everything in the game is totally destructible. You can literally destroy everything. It's very fun to go around destroying everything. The missions in the game are structured with tons of objectives, like killing people, abducting people, stealing brains, posing as people, but for the most part you really are just destroying all humans. To unlock the next mission though, you have to get so many Furon DNA. You could go around killing people, but that might take a while, so there's the occasional side mission you can do to get a ton of Furon DNA. The side missions are way more repetitive than the story missions and really aren't worth mentioning at all. And that's where you really do most of the game. I mean, you go around blowing shit up and destroying all humans. What can you guess? While there is some stealth parts to the game, eventually you will blow everything up. The presentation in the game is pretty decent. It's not great, but it's decent. Crypto looks good and the models all look passable. The textures aren't total garbage and look okay for the most part. There isn't anything super blurry or shitty. The game has a good frame rate, though sometimes it can be a bit lacking, and don't even get me started on the later games.
Sorry, dollface. Without you, Majestic's just a bunch of dudes in crappy black suits.
The humans in the game don't look very good, probably on purpose, but it's okay. Really all the models besides Crypto and Pox look pretty terrible. Not that any of them matter. The CGI is fine, and really it just shows the game's age, the CGI in general. The sound in the game was spot on, and I mean spot on. The music in the game is perfect for how cheesy and old school the sci-fi is, and is excellent. All the music is perfectly put in the game with the utmost care. The voice acting is great also. Crypto is great with his stupid one-liners and how much he just kind of wants to mess around. The humans all sound stupid on purpose, and they do a great job at all seeming like idiots. Where Pox steals the show is the guy from Invader Zim does his voice, and I love Invader Zim. So everything that Pox says is just great. Pox's voice acting is the best in the game, easily. The sound effects are great also. Every stupid sound effect you could think of for these weapons is what the weapon sound effect is. Really, every just stupid sound effect. It's perfect. People disintegrating, it's just as cheesy as you would think it would be. I mean, this game takes cheesiness to a whole nother level for a video game. I mean, it's really spot on. And the sound department is just one example of how it does that. The presentation is just really good for the most part. I can't say that about the length of the game though. It's really like a 6 or 7 hour long game. And if you want to do everything in the game, you can add maybe 2 or 3 hours to that. And that's not a whole lot for an actual game. I mean, the game is short enough to the point where it's not repetitive, but it crosses a thin line at the end. A thin line, so maybe it's a good thing that the game ends. Some of the missions, though, can just be really boring, and you just want to blow shit up. In my opinion, there's too many stealth missions at the beginning, and it kind of almost turned me off of the game. The most fun is literally just going around blowing shit up in the saucer. I wish you did this more. Besides, though, that I think the game's pretty good for the most part. I mean, it's definitely a THQ classic, and the game was good enough to warrant 2 sequels and a spin-off. So, a lmao, and we're off.